everybody, it's Tony X Tony. Don't forget the X, let's go. I was looking on Hood Clips. I follow them on Instagram. Shouts out to them. They always got good content, or at least funny content at least. One clip stood out to me in particular where it said research shows half the women in relationships have a guy on standby in case things go wrong. And this is according to Fox 35 News. So I'm actually kind of curious to see like where this is going. Do y'all think that most girls have a guy on standby? Are you in a relationship? Do you think that your girl might have somebody that's like low-key ready to pick her up as soon as something goes wrong between y'all two? I don't know. Let's see.
We're in a relationship. Should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship.
On the back burner. That's crazy. That's some crazy terminology right there. That means that like they ain't even thinking about you, considering you no more. It's like low-key, if you got somebody on the back burner, it's almost like you're expecting what you got going on to work out, not work out. Anyway, let's continue to see what's going on.
Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that.
But this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half.
She was not shocked because she's one of them. I'm just playing, I don't know. But if it's 50%, there's a 50% chance that she is doing the same shit. Anyway.
Of women who are married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan.
We're in a relationship.
Let's not use the word happily married in this situation. You're not happily married doing dumb stuff like this. Like, let's be honest with you. If you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, you guys gotta be on the same page. If you're not on the same page with somebody that you're in a relationship with, what are you guys even doing in a relationship with each other for? Girls, I'm not like in their minds. I don't understand what they be thinking about. And I'm not even sure if this is true. Who conducted this research? Like, where is it coming from? It says a psychology research, but just because something is on the news doesn't mean necessarily it's true. But it also doesn't mean it's false. But the way that the news works is, just to like kind of get my perspective on the news, I feel like they put out agendas that they want people to gravitate towards. And there's so many things that they could talk about on the news that would be more uplifting, but instead they choose to put out stuff like this, like Good Day Orlando, but then they're talking about how 50% of women have a side piece. Married women, happily married women. Come on, man. Tell me there's an agenda without telling me there's an agenda. I don't know what that agenda is, and maybe I'm just being a little bit of a skeptic. I don't know, or maybe they're just reporting on the truth. I'm just so like open book in this topic because I do know that most girls probably do got somebody that they're talking to on the side. But the thing is, like, I think a lot of guys do too. So it's a weird thing where what I've come to realize is people only do stuff usually because something has happened to them at some point in their life that's gonna make them kind of feel like they gotta retaliate towards that action. So the way that it usually happens from my perspective is whenever you're young, like teenagers, dating at that age, high school, middle school, you get done dirty by one person, and that one person kind of paints your whole perspective on how you view relationships for a really long time after that point. The key to this is not to let that one person affect how you're viewing the relationships, but to learn from that. But whenever you're younger, oftentimes it's hard to do that. So whenever you're starting to grow and you're already kind of feeling defensive about that one relationship that kind of screwed you over in the past, you're gonna continue carrying on that trauma and that baggage into the future relationships that you're carrying into. And suddenly, the next thing you know, you're just having all this emotional trauma and baggage in each relationship, and you're wondering why things never work out, why you gotta have a side piece. It's just crazy that this exists. Like, 50% is wild, bro. Let's listen to this again one more time.
Should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that.
But this is the latest psychology research. I was just.
All right, so is this her research? Is this like research that she's done? Because what was the title?
Just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan.
And why are they just laughing and cackling at this like this is a joke? Like, this is not some funny stuff. This is people's real lives, and people be getting affected by this kind of stuff. Whenever you're in a relationship, you are hoping and you're expecting somebody to like be giving their full all to you and not be doing no like backdoor type of stuff like this, where you're literally at risk. Like, your health is at risk. And I'm not saying that all these people are going and actually doing like some type of sexual act with the person just because they are engaging with them in some type of way, but you never know. All it does is progressively lead towards that. And it seems like to me that the goal of this all is like, I don't think that people go into relationships hoping that they fail, but at some point in relationships, the way that things are set up now, I think people get bored. They get bored and then they're like, man, what's over there? Like, he over there look like he got it made. She over there look like they got it made. Like, that's the way that I think people be thinking nowadays. Instead of thinking, man, I got my person and we gotta ride this out. Even when things get hard, things get challenging, we gotta make sure that we be in lockstep. Every move that we're making, we're on the same page. And if we're not, let's talk about it and see how we can get on the same page. Instead of going to this completely random, I think out of pocket movement where you're just like getting a side piece. Some people in the comments gonna hate me for saying this because I'm just one of those people that I don't agree with having like extramarital experiences. Like, bro, come on, man, you're married. Like, don't go and hurt somebody's trust and their feelings and their emotions just because you got some type of selfish nature. All right, so let's see what she is. Dr. Romila Romy-Mushtak, MD, is a board-certified physician in neurology, integrative medicine, and mindfulness. She entered neurology at a time when less than 5% of the brain doctors in the US were women, and proudly identifies as a STEMinist in stilettos. So I guess she's a woman that like does stuff with neurology and stuff like that. Anyway, not gonna take any of her accomplishments away. She's a doctor, and that's a big deal. That doesn't just happen overnight. So kudos to her. But is this her research, or is this just a topic that she was talking about? Okay, let's go to this video right here.
The day is shaping up to be pretty decent, Brooks says, weather-wise. He'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. Right now, though, if you are in a relationship, should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy-Mushtak is here to talk more about that. Dr. Romy, seriously?
Good morning, Tom. I know, and I
Come
feel
on,
like
this sounds positively guy.
guy, doesn't it? And I have to sit here and
What? How does this sound guy whenever it's 50% of women doing it? Like, come on, man. This don't sound guy at all. This just sound like person.
defend all of us women, but this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married and categorize themselves as happily
Wait a
married.
sec.
They're married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a specific person
A
they've
specific
identified.
person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Bro, what? This isn't a shot. Like, all this stuff makes sense. It's just like, bro, they're just on here talking about it like this just some normal stuff or something like that. I mean, it is normal. Apparently, it's hella more normal than we want to admit. But like, dang, bro, they're just on here, man. It's
Fortunately,
crazy.
yes. And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Right, so I know you're here to say, though,
Yes.
watch out, because this
Absolutely.
is anything but good.
It is, I agree. You know, mindset matters in relationships, Tom. And I tour the country teaching psychologists mindful living and how to apply it to relationships. And what is your mindset telling us if you have a back burner? It's telling us we don't know how to communicate well in a relationship, or when the
Say
going
that.
gets tough, instead of maybe learning important skills from a professional
Right.
on how to cope with all the ups and downs that always happen in a marriage, we're saying it's okay to run away.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about professional counselors and stuff that deal with marriage? Do y'all think that's kind of a scam, or are y'all like on board? And also, how do you feel about social media being the cause? Do you think that social media is actually the cause? If you ask me, social media is a piece of the cause, but it's an excuse, I think, to be doing this stuff. Like, the access is there, and you don't have to do it. There's access on the internet to do a lot of things, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing it. So I feel like that this is just a thing that people have been doing for a long time, and that's why there's people out there that have kids with women that don't actually like know if you're the dad type stuff. There's all types of situations that like be dealing with this, and this has happened way before social media. So to blame this on social media is just not putting the responsibility on the people that it belongs to, if you ask me.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is that shows just a total lack of commitment.
I agree. Well, I don't know if it's a lack of commitment, or is it that people haven't learned the appropriate coping skills?
It's a lack of commitment, the coping skills. Coping skills for what? Like, what are we talking about here? This is people not being committed, but let's hear it out.
You know, it's a direct projection of how we feel about ourselves if we're not comfortable in a relationship and wanting to run away. We have to be comfortable with the relationship first with ourselves. And if there's a problem in the marriage, there's no shame in getting help from a licensed professional.
So, and that's where I was going right now. Mm-hmm. If there's somebody out there who's watching right now and says, you know what, that's me.
Hold up. Let's just go back a second to hear what she said in her full explanation one more time.
I agree. Well, I don't know if it's a lack of commitment, or is it that people haven't learned the appropriate coping skills? You know, it's a direct projection of how we feel about ourselves if we're not comfortable in a relationship and wanting to run away. We have to be comfortable with the relationship first with ourselves. And
what does that mean? Be comfortable in a relationship first with yourself? Like, I guess that's the part that, doesn't that mean there's like kind of a lack of commitment because you was never comfortable? If you're in a marriage with somebody, you should be comfortable, right? Like, or am I out of pocket? Am I tripping? Or am I misinterpreting what she's saying? Because I don't want to do that.
And if there's a problem in the marriage, there's no shame in getting help from a licensed professional.
So, and that's where I was going right now. Mm-hmm. If there's somebody out there who's watching right now and says, you know what, that's me. I want to change this. Yes. What steps should they start taking?
Step one, delete that backup burner plan from your cell phone, Twitter account, Facebook, however you're in connection with them. You know, take the temptation out. Two, find a licensed mental health therapist who specializes in couples therapy. Mm-hmm. We discuss it at nationalmarriageseminars.com. You can find free advice there and training for professionals on how to cope with such issues.
And honestly, it may not be physical cheating,
right?
But if this isn't psychological cheating and emotional cheating, it sure is darn close.
You know, Tom, you bring up such a great point. And what happens when we're emotionally or psychologically cheating, it's one wrong thing happens in the marriage or a hard time, and it could easily turn into a separation and a divorce.
Absolutely.
And we want to save couples and marriages, right?
And it also, if one...
Cheating is cheating. Let's be honest. Like, we can try to parse words. We can say emotional cheating. We can say physical cheating. We can say whatever kind of cheating we want to do. Like, fuck out of here. If you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. And it doesn't matter if you're married to somebody still, and it doesn't matter if you use that other back burner person as an excuse to get out of your relationship to move on to, like, you know, go smash the person that you want to smash. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a complete stack.
Wrong thing happens, it goes from maybe social media contact to, hey, let's meet somewhere.
You know, absolutely. Like that. I agree. And you know what it is? The grass is always greener on the other side. Mm-hmm. You're just seeing that person's life on Facebook. You don't know what that backup burner plan is really going. Instead, take the time to heal the relationship with yourself and heal the relationship with your spouse.
Don't look at that grass that's always greener. Cultivate the lawn you have.
Amen. Right? Oh, that is beautiful, Tom. I love that.
All right. I'm glad that we found a full video for this, because I'm glad that she got to explain her points and stuff like that. I still really don't feel like I know all that much about her, but I do feel like her perspective's a little bit more open than I was expecting it to be. So kudos to her. It sounds like she's actually like trying to encourage people to go get help. I don't know, man. I don't really know how to feel about this, because it's not really like a surprise in any type of way. But I do think that there's something to be said about people that are going to be willing to like continue fighting through the hard times in a relationship and trying to become better. And you know, as funny as it could be to like make a whole bunch of crazy jokes about this, which, you know, honestly is too easy, but 50% of married women is crazy. Like, that's a lot more than I was expecting, to be honest. 50? I was thinking maybe like 30.
The grass is always greener on the other.
Maybe social media contact, hey, let's meet somewhere.
You know, absolutely. Like that. I agree. And you know what it is? The grass is always greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
The grass is always greener. Like, You don't know what people be up to in their real life. Like, after I make this video, y'all ain't gonna see me for the rest of the day, and you're not gonna see me until I make my next video, if that ever happens, because who knows what's gonna happen in life. But the thing is, I was just reading a study about like the massive amount of people in, I think it's Houston. Was it Houston? I don't want to just throw a city out there, but like it was in Texas for sure. Where like the HIV rate is just like astronomical, bro. Like everybody's just getting it, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy stuff. And it's one of those things that really kind of makes me want to be like, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff, because what if I do catch something? Like, hopefully my wife ain't out there doing stuff and like trying to get me sick. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that you gotta be concerned about. It's getting cheated on is one thing. Like, does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts. It definitely takes something away from you, and you're not gonna be happy about it. It's not gonna feel good. But it's gonna feel even worse if you end up getting like HIV, AIDS, herpes, chlamydia, like any of these things from somebody going out and cheating. But anyway, that's all for today. What do y'all think about this topic? Do y'all think that this is crazy? Do y'all think this is just kind of normal? Like, is this just something that it is what it is? Like, we all kind of expect this. I think the marriage part is the kind of part that throws me off, not necessarily that people are doing this. Social media is crazy. I don't think it's the reason, but I do think it's a piece of the reason. And there's always gonna be a reason for people to do something that they want to do. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what y'all think in the comments, and peace out. Thanks for stopping by.